So one of my favorite stories was a woman who I actually met while I was waiting for someone else who was late for their shoot at the British Museum. And I was just grabbing a bite to eat, and this stranger was sitting at the table with me, and I had all my camera equipment, and she said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm doing this In Your Own Skin project." I told her about it. She said, "Oh, I'd love to do that." And she was visiting from Sweden, and it was her first trip alone to Britain, and it was her first trip alone without her husband. And so she shared her story, and at the end of this short interview at the table over lunch, she wrote "incapacitating depression" across her cleavage, and I photographed her in the throng of the British Museum with this elated, jolly smile on her face. And it was so interesting to have the counterpoint of her life now, you know, post 15 years of intense depression. And also there was an extra piece to her story which was especially moving, because when she went back to her hotel from the shoot, feeling really kind of revitalized and excited and enlivened by the experience, she told me later, she went back to receive really devastating news about her husband, who had suffered a stroke while we were doing the photo shoot. And she wrote to me weeks later, I didn't find out about this for weeks, and she said that although it was devastating news, it was really difficult, obviously, a thing to endure, she felt much more resilient from having done the shoot and having had the experience and the conversation and the connection, and that gave her some force and some personal strength to deal with what she had to deal with to support her husband. So it's had a lot of very interesting knock-on effects as well, and she's one of the many favorite stories of people, an example of what the portraits are like, and also the kind of ripple effect that they create in the world.